Hello everybody, it's Vincent Grosso here from My Visually Impaired Life, and they say marriage is supposed to be 50-50. Well, how about if you're visually impaired and blind? Is this true? Well, let's talk about it. Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of my channel. And whoever said married life was the easy life, huh? It's not. It's work. And I'm only stating this because I do have a very happy marriage, okay? I've been with the same woman for many, many years, at least 14 years, and could not be any happier. I am going to actually be, this next July will be my 10-year wedding anniversary, and I can't wait to take my wife somewhere special. But what am I getting at in this video? I'm getting at the fact that marriage takes work. It's usually 50-50, but that's not always the case. Sometimes something will happen to one of us, or one's out working, or one loses their vision, and it becomes from 50-50 to 90-10. And that could be a lot of stress on a certain spouse, whether it be the husband or the wife. In my case, it's my wife. So I noticed that she was getting stressed out, but she took it like a champ. She didn't complain once. I just knew that she was getting stressed out. I could see there's certain things she was doing. I used to take care of all the bills in the house. I used to, there's certain things I did all the time that she never did. And not to say she can't do it, but it was just extra work she didn't have to do. And now I put all of that on her. Well, what happened? I became visually impaired, and I was at rock bottom. I stared at walls, okay? I didn't know audio description. I didn't know bump dots. I didn't know CCTVs. I didn't know even, I had an Android phone and I didn't even know what TalkBack was. Never heard of it. Well, I learned all those things over time. I've only been this way for 2 years now. But times changed. I got on YouTube. I met so many of you cool individuals. I saw so many cool channels, and I listened and I learned. And that's what I did. And then I got in touch with the Association for the Blind, which I have all this in my previous videos. If you ever want to go back and watch any of them, you would know. But I learned for myself. But what happened was, when my wife started getting a little stressed out, I had to learn for her. So how did I do that? Well, my wife does a lot. So my wife was a head chef. She cooks like a maniac. Thus why I'm a chubby guy. So if you can't see me, yeah, I'm a chubby guy. But I'm a happy chubby guy. It's called dad bod. So, but anyway, going back onto the subject. My wife would always cook really good meals every single night. My wife would always do the laundry. I never touched laundry. Don't think I didn't do anything. I did others. We did 50-50. So I'd do the bills. I'd sweep the floors. I'd mop. I'd do dishes. Stuff like that. I would, straighten up things here and there. Well, then there's the things my wife had to do. My wife had to work, which I worked, but she had to work. She had to clean the bathroom. She had to take care of her kids a little more than I do. I mean, I take care of the kids, but not as much as she did. And that was before visual impairment. Then when I became visually impaired, my wife had to do the bills. My wife had to clean the floors. My wife had to sweep. My wife had to do everything. And I sat there and moped. But as I got better with the electronic devices, as I learned to be more independent again, I learned my white cane skills, I learned how to cook a little bit at home, I decided, you know what, I could see my wife getting stressed out, even though she wasn't admitting to it, she wasn't like yelling at anybody, she wasn't being mean to anybody, I could just tell. And I want to be a good husband, and a happy wife is a happy life. So, what did I do? I got in touch with the Association for the Blind, and I had specialists come and train me how to cook crock pot meals, and they gave me a meat thermometer, talking meat thermometer, a chopper to chop my onions. She taught me how to cut properly. She gave me a glove so I didn't cut my hands. All these cool little devices I got, and they helped me in the kitchen. So then that was me helping my wife in the long run not have to cook all the time. Yes, I can cook now. I can even cook meats. I can cook hamburger now because I know not to be a little afraid if it's a little on the rare side. Eventually it's going to cook in when you put all your mixtures and all that. However, I've kind of stayed away from pork. I haven't really touched pork yet. But when it comes to ground turkey and chicken, I found ways to adapt and learn how to cook those thoroughly, because I can't see it. Even in the pot, I can't see it. But you know what's funny about ground turkey is I can literally tell just by the consistency of how it feels in the spatula. Isn't that funny? We learn these things. I learned how to cook some meals, so that took a little slack off my wife there, and I wanted her to be proud of me, so I did that. She came home one day from work to have 2 full crock pots made and ready for the whole family. And I tried to do that from here and there. I probably don't do it as much as I should still, but I'm still learning. And then the laundry. I never used to do laundry. My wife always did the laundry. Well, my wife always said, well, you need to do it. I couldn't figure out. We got one of those newer style washers that sing songs, and I'm like, I can't even see any of the buttons. I can't read a single thing on it. Not even the screen, the display. So my wife set it up where all I have to do is hit the power button and the start button. And how do I know where those buttons are? Well, number one, I know where they are in the machine. But number two, we put bump dots on them. And now I have bump dots. And I have 2 different types of bump dots. I got short little styrofoam ones, and I got tall rubber, hard rubber ones. And they're bright orange. So that's how I learned that. The microwave, same thing. I put bump dots on my microwave and on the stove. So now I know how to set the stove to certain temperatures without having to worry if I'm on a wrong temperature or not. So when it comes to the laundry, same thing, bump dots. The dryer, I put a bump dot on the turn dial and on the outside where the turn dial is supposed to be all the time. Always set it for the same thing. I use my index finger, I put it on until my index finger feels the other bump dot. So then once I feel those, hit the start button, I'm good to go. Very simple. So now I do the laundry. My wife does not have to do the laundry at all. I even separate the laundry so I can separate my daughter's clothes from my son's clothes, from my clothes and my wife's clothes. Easily. I put them all in piles on the bed. But what I don't do, and I still have to have my wife do, is coordinate the socks and the underwear. I cannot do that. I can't tell enough to do that. I've tried, and I, till this day, don't know how to do that, but I'll figure that out eventually. So my wife still does that. However, it's a whole not having to do on her list ordeal or task. So, on top of that, the bathroom. I never clean the bathroom. Always made my wife clean the bathroom. It's just one of those things I never wanted to do. So, my wife's hair, she got really long hair. Her hair would be there, and I'm like, I don't want you deal with it, your hair, blah, blah, blah. So over the years, she just did clean the bathroom, and it became a regular thing for her. So I took up cleaning the bathroom to take the slack off my wife there also. So I thoroughly clean the bathroom now. I didn't like it at first, but you know what? I had to get over it. So I got over it. So I do that now. I do the dishes. And I clean the counters. I sweep the floors. In the beginning of my visual impairment, I never swept the floors or mopped because I couldn't see the floor, and I still can't. However, I learned things. I adapted. I have a grid pattern. I go from one end of the room of the house to the other end of the house, and I work my way to the middle. And that's how I do. Sweeping and mopping, same way. And as far as I know, I get everything. However, my wife always comes home from work and she'll point out something I haven't got. But that's what wives are for. So I have that. So what am I trying to tell you? Are relationships 50-50 all the time? No, they're not. And they're probably never going to be. Mine was for a while. But is it going to stay that way? No. Is it 90-10 before, I learned how to do all these things? Yes. But it was straining on her. But now it's 90-10 the opposite way on my end, but I enjoy it. It keeps me occupied. I do a lot of things. I take care of our daughter. I wake up from morning till night. And yes, the days seem very similar each and every day. However, I have tasks from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. So, when I wake up in the morning and I hear my daughter saying, Daddy, Daddy, come get me and my stuffed animals, I know my day is going to start. I say, yes, boss. And I get up out of bed and I go and get her. And then I take care of her. I brush her teeth. I give her breakfast. I give her breakfast, then I brush her teeth, and then I get her settled. I'll give her a bath if she needs a bath that day. I'll have her watch TV, or I'll let her watch her Kindle. And then what do? I do the dishes. I drink her coffee. I eat my breakfast. I brush my teeth, and I take care of the things I need to do. I clean the house and all that. And I play with my daughter in between because she's always with me. And yes, I have it all figured out. And my wife comes home very happy. So whether it be your wife, or maybe you're the woman and you need to do this stuff for your husband, vice versa, it doesn't matter. Don't be afraid to pick up that slack. You know, you gotta keep everybody in the house happy. You gotta keep your marriage healthy, and you gotta work. That's just what marriage is. So I hope you guys like this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button, and please, more than anything, leave a comment. And I can't wait to listen to your comments, and I can't wait to reply to your comments. This was Vincent Grosso, and I will see you next week.